Стрикланд Генеральный директор ОБИ Россия. Ian, you're welcome. Nice to meet you tonight. And now a reform. You're welcome on stage.
No, just me, girl. Only me. Oh, I wanna be your only man. Don't wanna see you with no other man. No, just me, girl. Only me.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Dobry den. I thought I was coming to an HR event, and I'm pleasantly surprised to see how talented you all are. Now, I know many of you are getting to that stage of the afternoon where you had a wine at lunch and you're starting to feel a little bit tired. And so what I do want you to do is to engage with me, okay? What I would like you to do is stand up. All stand up. And as part of engagement, not only is this bringing your blood flowing again and getting you a little bit energized, but engagement is speaking to people. And this is a networking event, yeah? So if you don't know each other next door to each other, say hello, introduce yourself, say hello. Nice to see you. Perfect. So not only, you can sit down now. So not only are you HR professionals, superb at your job, you're excellent musicians, and now you're engaging in networking. So what an afternoon, eh? So I might not be a very good drummer, and I might not know all the theory that was going on all back on the last session, but at least I've got your attention. And hopefully within the next, it's counting away here, 28 minutes, I can keep you engaged and share with you a little bit of a story about my particular leadership and what we've been doing here in ОБИ Russia. But before, again, I think so far, again, thank you very much indeed for the invitation. I do feel very honored, actually. I'm quite a humble, shy person, and I do feel honored to be on a stage with such experts. And I've learned a lot already, and I do believe that there's a philosophy in life that you do learn something new every day. So I was lucky enough to get here just as the Alpha Bank were talking, and I thought, wow, that's a really inspiring bank. I must consider moving my money there. And then somebody else stood on the stage, a chap called Vincent Gentile, who has a fantastic organization, and he spoke about values. And he, again, is in the DIY business, but unfortunately, I cannot go and spend my money there, and I have no intention to. But anyhow, two very valuable businesses demonstrating their work ethic, their value, and what they're doing in terms of their business in this fascinating market of Russia. So, 27 minutes, let's get going. So, let me just wind back the history books. I was lucky enough to be selected to come here back in 2008. As per the slight or brief presentation prior to that, I'd been working in China, Kitai. And I was lucky at that point, as my first overseas expenditure, to actually start a business. So I was able to start it from scratch. Not always easy, but it was about establishing something that needed to grow, something that needed to have substance, something that needed to look at being not just a Western business coming into China and trying to take advantage of the new capitalism, but something that was going to mean something that was going to be purposeful, and that would be lasting on the high street or lasting in the lives of people's careers for some time. So I really enjoyed that period of my life, obviously a lot younger, but learnt a lot about culture, learnt a lot about people, definitely learnt about processes. And at that point in time, when we started that business, we worked with a global business, an American global business, called Hewitt Associates. Now, They've moved on in terms of their name, but they're still definitely one of the best providers of HR practice and solutions in the world. Now Aon Hewitt, as you know. Now, when I joined OBI, business was pretty good. 5 years of growth, approaching opening their 10th store. It's okay, looked from the facade, from the outside, looking in, it looked quite good. But of course, like anything, when you start to get into the business and get your feet under the table, you then start to realize that, got quite a bit of work to do here. And it just so happened at the same time, our HR director, who's in the audience today, Giselle Lariva, was joining as well. And actually, when we started to look very closely at the key performance indicators of the business, we realized they really needed to be better. You know, this market was growing, we were growing, but our bottom line wasn't growing as we were hoping it to be. So my third day here, and I tell this story often, my third day here, I flew down to Sochi. Everyone knows about Sochi in the world then, or now, but they didn't then. So I was flying down to this part of Russia, which was very different, very hilly, and I was told it was going to hold the Winter Olympics, and there was like no snow around, and are we sure about this? And anyhow, Gazelle and I had the chance to meet each other, shake hands like you've just done, and we started talking about some of the business challenges and how were we, as new employees to the business, how were we going to take this business to the next step? How were we going to do something dynamic with OBI? Already quite successful, but still needing to go another stage further. It needed to evolve more. It needed to become even more dynamic. So we conducted the same survey as I'd used in China and continue to use in China on engagement. And where were we? Our engagement rate back in 2008 was just 58%. We were just average. Yeah? Our staff fluctuation, although an average of 68%, some of our stores were even over 100%. We just could not keep our people. So we started asking ourselves, why was that? Why couldn't we keep our people? When we also dived into the survey, the actual rate of people's perception of their career opportunities, again, was quite low. 29%, as it says on the screen. And a lot of people were skeptical about the development. You know, was the business going to grow? And actually, if you remember back, 2008, as I got off the plane, things were okay. By the middle of 2008, and then 2009, it was the crisis. And again, there was lots of people that were like really skeptical, what's going to happen, and how is things going to grow? So we conducted our survey, and part of the process of what we do in terms of our engagement is to look at some behaviors. So there are certain people in your organization that will be very happy to say something about it, to be, you know, just talk hopefully positively about your organization. And then you'll have some people that are actually quite engaged. The behavior shows that they're fairly engaged, that they have a desire to be part of your business. And then you do have some as well that are actually fully engaged, and they see there's a great opportunity. This is a great chance to enhance my career here. This is a business that's really looking to go places. So we adopted the same process, say, stay, and strive. Then the next stage, we then looked at, well, what is it that people really talk about? And what is it that is fundamental in terms of the glue? And this is what I call is the glue, the thing that sticks it all together. You know, we have our sales department, we have our commercial team, we have our HR team, we have our real estate team. But what is it that we're all there for? You know, and it is about money, isn't it? Of course it is. But it's also about the leadership, and it's about your line managers. And you know, do you like your boss? If you don't like your boss, it's a bit of a problem, isn't it? And do you like your work activities? And do you like your feeling of sense of accomplishment, job satisfaction? One of the statistics earlier, 73% of people not wishing to go to work in the morning. That's a shocking statistic, isn't it? And you know, what do you do about that? How do you change your organization to actually make people want to come to work? What is it that's going to be the glue? So on the board, 19 criteria. Those of you that are still pumping from jumping up and down and speaking to each other, there's 19 points up there. And we've gauged ourselves, we've measured ourselves on these points. And these are anonymous. Our staff fill in this form online, and we start to collate this information. So it's actually working out quite good, because if you look at where we were back in 2009 at 58%, we've worked quite hard on this, and nothing is a bed of roses. Nothing is ever given to you in life, but you have to keep working on something. And it's a lot of what's been said today. If you believe in something, if your heart is in it, then keep going. I do run marathons. I do love doing sports events, and I do want to always get to the next stage. And I try to carry that ethic through with my business and my everyday job and my life. And thankfully, it's working. It's working very, very nicely, to the degree where we've now gone through from 2009 at 58 to now 84%, which is, I think, quite high up in terms of business performance and business engagement. Now, you might say, well, that's all very good, isn't it? Yeah, well, he's got a team of people that like him, like his shoes, like his style of management, speaks quite nicely, quite a friendly guy. Yep, he's engaged. We've got an engaged team. But it's not just that. It's how does it then correlate to business performance? So let's just go back one, if I can. In 5 years, we've actually doubled our workforce. We've gone not quite the same numbers of Leroy Milan earlier as 13,000, but we're quite proud. We've doubled our workforce. Okay, we've grown quite nicely. We will open our 24th store in 2 weeks' time. But over the course of that period of time, we've actually done extremely well in decreasing our staff fluctuation. So we've been attracting people, but we've been retaining people. And we've been listening to why do people want to leave and what are the things. And it all comes back still to those 19 points that I mentioned. We measure, every year we're measuring ourselves. Every year we have engagement sessions as to how can we improve? What do we need to do next? How do we manage to get ourselves up the next stage of the ladder? How does it relate still to key performance indicators? Well, again, all of us are tasked as a CEO or a country manager or general manager to be generating bottom line contribution and growing year on year, particularly in this environment. But we're actually making a nice saving. So engagement actually gives a return. Not only is it a nice environment all of a sudden to start working in, but it gives a monetary return. And this is just one aspect that is an advantage for the business. What are, if we were to describe the factors that really make the difference? And we've just put together here five factors, but there's many more. But I think these absolutely resonate quite clearly in definitely something that needs to be considered from the onset. So, is it supported from the top? Well, I live and breathe it, actually. Absolutely every day. I have my targets. There's expectations upon me from our head office in Germany. I've got to grow like-for-like sales. I've got to keep my costs down. I've got to deliver more contribution. But actually, with all those KPIs, yes, I get a dashboard. Yes, I see it. Yes, I look at it. But actually, I drive people. That's my job. I actually am in the business to motivate people to deliver the results, to give them the direction, to give them the guidance, to give them what they need in terms of inspiration and making mistakes okay. It's no problem. Learn from it. Move on. Be better tomorrow. So it has to start from the top. And it's not just about me saying it. It's walking the talk. You hear this cliche in English often, walk the talk. But it's true. Actions speak louder than words. Demonstrate it. Behavior counts for everything. And again, information is absolutely key. Openness. If we've got some bad results, if we're not competing as good as we should, if our visitors are declining, be open about it. Let's get it out on the table. Let's discuss it openly. Let's just don't hide it under the mat as though it doesn't exist, because it will always be there. So openness and transparency is something that is definitely a key factor. And we want employees that want change. We want to hear them. So we've developed a very strong culture in our business that talks very much about making sure that the voice is heard and that people have the opportunity. And that whilst bottom-down is sometimes the way that businesses have to operate, it's also bottom-up is a long way in making the two things in the middle come together. And a little bit like, again, some of the businesses have shared, creating the value, creating the importance together. Gazelle, and I certainly don't take the credit here, loads of people who know Gazelle Gariva in the audience, we have a very dynamic HR team. And because I allow them the vacuum, I allow them the space to develop this type of thing, our employee value proposition is critical. This is, as you all know, even more so than I do, a very competitive labour market. So we've been doing analytics for some time, we've been doing our HR development for a number of times. One thing that was mentioned earlier is about like-minded people. Now, if you have a team of people that are all from different walks of life and different ages and whatever, how do you then bring them together? Well, there's always one common denominator. There's always something that we can find. And we've introduced our recruitment toolkit that is all about making sure that we have the right type of people, the right mind. They might be old, they might be young, whatever, but we still have the same like-minded people, and it's working a pleasure for us. So, the results are speaking for themselves. Vincent Gentil mentioned earlier about values. Our values are also, like all of you, all have some values. Are they on the wall and just everyone walks by them, or are they actually part of your day-to-day activity? Are they something that really do mean something? And ours, again, we carried out our employee value proposition a few years back. And again, they're still as resolute in their meaning as they are today, in openness, respect, owning up for responsibility, and be results-driven. Absolutely resolute. So, again, in terms of communicating what is our employee value proposition, it is, as I say, like-minded people. Our common denominator is people that love their homes. People love their banks as well, so I'm told, but people that love their homes. And we've had some success through doing and recruiting people who love their homes. And then again, there's no barrier in terms of your career opportunity. We are expanding. Many businesses are worrying about expansion at the moment, but we're still absolutely certain and absolutely confident that we will continue to expand. Forget current political instability, forget the things that are going on in terms of ruble and exchange rates. Well, you can't forget them, of course you can, but life runs in cycles, businesses run in cycles, governments run in cycles, politics run in cycles. If you start chopping and changing a new strategy every time you have a little downturn in the economy, and if you change your direction every time there's a fluctuation in the ruble, then you're never going to have your glue again. You're never going to have the ability to get back on track. The best thing is to have that core element in your organization that keeps you on track, and okay, you cope with the odd problem here or there, and you get round it, and you deal with it. But you still have to keep what you believe in, your values, and what you need to do in terms of engaging your people. Never leave it. Never let it go. I've been in business now 30 years. I've been in management 25 years plus. I've been through 2 or 3 economic downturns in the UK. I went through an economic downturn in China in 2003 with the SARS pandemic. I came here in 2008, just at the perfect timing. And then, again, we're probably walking into another challenging year in 2015. But you still have to keep on track. You still have to go in the right direction. And I can honestly say, in those businesses that I've run, and the businesses I've been in, whether they've been in the UK, Europe, in China or Asia, and here in Russia, we still keep our glue. We still keep our direction. We still keep our focus. So, Furthermore, in terms of career opportunities, something about measuring engagement, does it have an impact in your organization? Where is the return on this investment? And again, many CEOs don't see it still. And I'm baffled. I'm still baffled why people don't put, or organizations don't put so much emphasis upon their people. There's too much short-termism. It has to be a longer-term drive. And what we're being able to demonstrate here is that almost 4,000 employees are more than happy with what we've been doing, and the career ladder shows quite clearly how many people we've promoted and how many people are absolutely happy with the way that we're doing things. 145 management positions have been created and were closed through people within our organization. Again, go back to asking yourselves, how often do you have to go and recruit somebody from the outside in? How long does it take for those people to actually start to give value back? There's a great book on the market, I read it many years ago, called The First 100 Days. The first 100 days of anyone joining a business, you're paying for them. They're not giving you a return yet on your investment. It's only the next 100 days where it actually starts to equalize out. So 6 months into the year, you've got somebody that's almost ready to start delivering perfectly for you. So engage with your people, give them talent management, invest in your talent management, and grow your people from within. This is the success that we can share today. Here again, 13 out of 14 management positions, 2 general managers were closed by internal candidates. These people are at level 3 in our organization, grown from the sales floor, grown from everyday people pulling pallets around, stacking shelves. I was the same. I was exactly the same as a 17-year-old. 60 employees of our central office, each 6 months got promotion in this year. And how does it then relate to the store performance? And again, you judge us by your OBI experience when you come shopping with us. But again, by applying the same principles, not just within our central office, but to the sales floor, we can directly correlate our engagement score to our mystery shopping report. And now this is absolutely consistent. Again, when I took over, we were in the red zone. But now, we are consistently in the green zone. The more engaged the employee is, the more engaged the customer is likely to be. So, this will mean a lot to you, maybe not quite so much to me, but a blast from the past. And actually, there is some very good statistics on the market. I think if you speak to Edward Stanek from Aon Hewitt, who's here in the audience, he will be able to give you even more enforced figures as to what we've been able to share. But what's the actual cost of somebody that's not engaged? You know, what are they costing your organization by you allowing 30, 40% of your sales floors to be completely disinterested? And how are they then influencing that middle bracket of people that are interested, want to probably be progressing their career, but they're dragging your people down? And if they're dragging your people down, what are they doing to your results? They're dragging your results down. But it's more than that. There's a calculation that we've done. It's there. I noticed everyone put their iPad or tablet up to focus on that one. But it's true, the figures are there. And again, please ask Aon Hewitt if you need any more information on what is the real cost of a disengaged employee. So, further to that, again, I've mentioned the glue, I've mentioned the 19 points that make a big difference, that we judge people against, the 19 points that we every year show further improvement and we work hard on within the HR team and my team to make sure that we see those improvements. But one thing that definitely, and again, I'm absolutely in admiration to my HR team and Gazelle and Pavel here in the audience today, we have very, very strong communication. We talk very openly. We have very transparent. So again, where does it link? It links back to our values. We're very open, transparent, we're results-driven, we have to be. No business can be. So we have to share this. And this year, one of the pleasing factors, we've actually got our own internal ОБИ TV. And it came from the result of me going to Kazan once, about 1 year ago, and we had our category manager for our gardening department, who was pulling his hair out because we weren't executing all of his ideas, all of the things he wanted to see happen on the sales floor in the business. He couldn't get his point across. He couldn't share what we needed to do to improve our performance even further. So we introduced ОБИ TV. And ОБИ TV, put my teeth in, runs all the time. It runs within the stores. It runs within the canteens. And it's not about creating Oscar winners. It's not about creating the next Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise. It's about demonstrating and getting your point across on key issues that you need to within the business, whether it's health and safety or some of the latest HR information. It's about learning, training, development. And it's about educating our sales floors. You know, what is it that we have to be selling and pushing this week in our stores? How is it that we need to be communicating and engaging with our customer? Customer training, customer knowledge, sharing that experience. We also have ОБИ Life. ОBI Life is, again, it's about life in ОБИ. We have an app. Fantastic. So I don't even have to carry on the plane anymore some paperwork. I have an app on it. And all these things are helping to keep our value going, keep our enthusiastic, engaged workforce together. Other initiatives, but again, time is running slow or thin now, but other initiatives that we have is workshops, a constant reminder of new employees that do join us. What is it about our values? What is it that we need to be talking about? It's priceless. I conduct this one here, Team Insight. I conduct these. I conduct it in store, and I conduct it with every functional department. And I invite people just to come and have a couple of hours with me, a drink, and to get it off your chest. What's wrong with ОБИ today? What is it that we need to do better? We're successful, we're doing okay, but let's just not sit on our hands. What else can we do to improve? What is it that's agitating you? At first, it was difficult because people found it quite challenging speaking to me. But actually, I'm approachable. And because I do it in a way that people feel at ease, now, no problem. 5 years on, people are very open. And that's what I want them to be, because I respect them. I want their openness, and I respect them. And they give it to me. Other initiatives, again, without too much time left, it's difficult to go into them. But what I will say, I'm here the rest of the day. I'm here partially tomorrow. But if you do want to come and speak to me, there's no time for question and answers, sorry. But if you do want to come and speak to me, feel free. Again, I'm very happy to share how we've done things. It's not an overnight success engagement. You have to work on it. There's no recipe. It's all about planting that seed from the top of your management and nurturing it, feeding it, watering it, growing it. The results then, and the performance results, all look after themselves. So as a parting comment, with 1 minute to go, is engagement connected within the business results in your company? And if so, then how? But most importantly, if not, why not? What might you be doing about it? So thank you again for a fabulous audience. Again, I thought I was coming here to speak at an HR event, but all of a sudden I was knocking on heaven's door. But it's a wonderful world. So thank you. Thank you again.